All right. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to come on and talk to you today. I hope you're having a really great day. I'm just really excited to share with you the 3 steps that took me from stressing daily to easily being able to manage my money just a couple times a month, saving $1,000 for my emergency fund, and we're also starting to pay off our credit card debt and student loans. These are some big feats, I know, for some people. For me, it is. I would have loved to do this live, but I have children, and that would have been crazy to try to do. So I tried to get this done during a quiet moment. So just a little bit about me. I'm Colleen Forcier, in case you don't know me. I'm a bookkeeper. I have a bookkeeping business, and uh, so back in the summer of 2018, I found myself constantly stressed and um, just having anxiety about running out of money and chasing bill due dates and trying to stretch from one paycheck to the next. And it just didn't make sense because we had plenty of money to cover everything. And I would make lists upon lists of comparing my income to my expenses and trying to figure out why it wasn't working out. On paper it was supposed to work out, because that's what I'm all about, the numbers and making the lists. And I would still find us, we'd be robbing Peter to pay Paul and using credit cards to get from one paycheck to the next. And I would be so stressed out, I would sometimes forget to actually pay the bills because I couldn't put anything on auto pay because, I didn't know when I could pay the bill. And there was just so much anxiety every time I spent $1. It was just too much, not even be able to buy groceries and simple things like clothing for your children without stressing out about, oh, did I just spend money that I should have had somewhere else? And then sometimes I would think I would finally have it all figured out because, I'm making the lists, and then something unexpected would come up, or something that was expected would come up, and I would just feel like this crushing feeling. It would make me just want to hide and hope it would just pass by, and I just want to bury my head in an avoidance hill for finances. And I just got to a point where I was just so done, and something had to change. And I actually learned some incredible things through owning a business and working with business owners, and um, I'm constantly, educating myself on different things that have to do with finances. And I came across something that was actually for business, and I decided I'm going to use this for my personal finances. And I had to tweak it and change it and work with it to have it apply, and it turned into something that was completely amazing. And so I took a leap of faith, and I implemented the 3 steps I'm going to share with you today into my personal finances. And it was just amazing because I went from being stressed daily to uh, feeling all that anxiety and worry to easily managing my money twice a month, saving on my emergency fund, and starting to pay off credit cards and student loans and that kind of thing. And it was just amazing, the confidence that I got from doing this system. Um, it wasn't something I expected, and certainly um, knowing that I'm managing my money that I can get the best out of it was an absolute bonus to using the system. But the absolute best thing I think I would receive from using the system was the peace I felt from not having to think about and worry about bills and due dates and pay dates. And it all changed when I decided to use these 3 steps. So the 3 steps I implemented to change how I manage my money, the first one was I designated finance days. And one of the absolute keys to managing my money was choosing these days that I was going to be managing my money. I stopped chasing money from payday to payday. I was able to finally put my expenses on auto pay, so I didn't forget things anymore. And you know, I had the money allotted for what I needed, and I could just get from one finance day to another finance day without worrying. So the next step I took was I had to have a personal budget. And I've always been somebody that budgets, you know, I'm a numbers person, but I got really real about my budget and stopped following other things that said, you know, it needs to be this way. And I really looked at my life and, you know, my family and what we needed and based my budget on that and what we were already spending. Um, and it was like I couldn't have done the system if I didn't have that personal budget. So it was something that I learned was probably one of the biggest things that I needed for this system to be able to make it work. And I thought, you know, I know a lot of times people think like budgets are so um, limiting. But I have found that has given me so much more freedom because when I go to spend money, I'm not worried like, oh my gosh, I just spent this money. When I put that money aside for whatever it was, you know, whether it was buying clothes for my children, buying myself new shoes or buying groceries, whatever it was okay to spend the money because that's what it was there for. Um, and it was also nice to have money put aside for those unexpected things. I mean, we're still working on more of the the debt aspect because we are following Financial Peace University, um, and if you've ever seen it, you know, you start with your $1,000 emergency fund, and then you pay off your debt, and then you start making a 3 to 6 months of emergency um, cash, basically. And so having that $1,000 emergency fund is just like it's amazing because we didn't have that emergency fund because we were you know living on those credit cards, and now we're at the point where because we're following this budget, you know, we have that fund, and so if something comes up while we're paying off debt, we'll be okay, you know. And um, you know, we're paying off that debt so we can take those next steps. So if something unexpected comes up, we do have money saved already. And the way I have the system going is kind of basically the same thing, but not exactly, not exactly, because they have another way of doing it. I much prefer having my designated finance days, and then the way that I organize my money, um, and also the way I do my budget. So the third step that I used to change how I manage my money was not touching my money until the designated finance days. And this might seem like a no-brainer, but I know we all have a tendency to just kind of pick at money that might be there, like, oh, you know, I I just need it for this, and then I can just put it back with the next paycheck or whatever it is. And so you're basically, you know, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically. And what happened for us is we would end up back in that cycle if I was to do that. And I would be like, oh, I've got to just use a credit card one time, you know, and be back into that whole um, hamster wheel of hell, basically. Uh, but I decided, you know, you don't touch the money. You know, you have this money for this period of time, you have this money for this period of time, and you only touch the money that's in that period of time until it's time to add on more money in your next designated finance day. Um, so this to me was like, well, they're all three are very important, but this is really important because you don't want to be basically stealing from yourself for later on. Um, you know, I used to, you know, do this and I would think, oh, well, it'll all work out. It'll all work out. But it got to a point where it just didn't work out. So I decided, you know, it was time to be a grown up and um, not treat my bank account like it was an unlimited cash cow and just do these things, have those finance days, have that budget, and then don't overspend and don't take money from basically the pot that goes to another expense or another area that we were um, putting our money aside for. So I don't know, these were just the most simplest like steps that I think you could actually take, but they were so life-changing for me, these 3 simple steps. And I know you can change your life too in this way if you're having these same kinds of issues. I mean, it's maybe kind of embarrassing sometimes, especially for me as a bookkeeper, being like, why the heck can't I handle my money? And now it's just like so freeing, like I can, feel confident in talking to people about this kind of thing because I've been there, done that, and I've changed things so that I just feel like I'm so blessed in my life now. So I decided I really had to share this with other people. I've been using this program. Let me have a drink of water. For the past year and a half, and I have no plans on changing that. I plan to just keep following the same thing, even though we're doing the financial piece. Like I'm still going to use the same system. I feel like it makes all those things possible. And so I decided to come up with a course and outline exactly what I did and what I do every month to have these changes. So I made the course not just budgeting, money management. I used to call this bank balance budgeting, but I realized it was just so much more. It was all about money management. And inside of this course, you will learn how to set the groundwork so your budget is customized to you. You'll be able to learn how to increase your cash flow, create a budget that works for your life, and have a dedicated system for making your money work for you. You also learn how to save for your unexpected and your expected things that just don't come up all that often. Or let's say you want to save for a vacation, you want to put money aside for whatever it is, for your own enjoyment. And then also how you can incorporate paying off your debt. You'll also discover the prime time that you can pay your bills so that you only handle them twice a month. And the days that are chosen are really key. So they aren't just any old days during the month. And you also work on your mindset around money so you don't stay on this hamster wheel of making these same choices. Because if you're just left to your own devices, it's pretty easy just to fall back on what you were doing already. And we want to change that. So in each module, I've added in journaling prompts to help you work through things that are going on in your mind. And these are things journal prompts you can use over and over. You're finding yourself, once you've gone through and you find yourself like having some issues around money mindset, you can always go through and redo those again, because as we're learning and growing and changing, we need to process through that. So because you're going to another level, and you have to work through those levels. So working on money mindset is kind of a lifetime thing, really. It's not a one and done kind of thing. So I thought it was really key to include that within this this course. So excuse me. So how do you know it's time to do this? It's time to do this when you can't imagine living like this anymore. You need to take some major shifts in your life and drastic changes so that you can have the changes that you want in your life. I don't want you sitting around like wishing for this and that and then not doing anything about it. It's time to do something. You need to stop doing good enough and start doing awesome. So how would you access the course? There'll be a link that you just click and go make your purchase, and you'll have immediate access. And right now I'm having a flash sale, And normally it is $99 for the course, and I'm doing a little over 50% off right now, and I'm offering it for just $47. And I'll be doing that for the next 3 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be done, and then it'll go back to the $99 price. And this course is awesome. I mean, really, it's a $300 value, and I only sell it for $99. And right now, I just thought we've got to do something really special. It's the end of the year. We're going into 2020. People, they need to get a hold of this so they can make those changes in their life and have a better year, and then a better year after that and after that. And what better way to do that than to slash the price at a super low $47 payment, to have access to something that they can use, pretty much for the rest of your life. And then you will also get, like if I do any updates to it, I add anything to this course, you get free access to that. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also adding in a free bonus. It's a little course that I wrote. It's worth $40, and I usually charge $12 for it. And it's about getting out of debt. So this really goes hand in hand with the money management. It's called Getting Out of Debt Alive. And you get it free for purchasing, not just budgeting, money management. They really work really well together. I think you'll really, you'll just gain so much from the two programs together. So I just thought that they had to go together, if I was going to be doing something like this. An end of year thing to help people to start their financial, future off on a really good, high note, basically, into 2020. And I thought this was the best way to do it. Well, I am so thankful that you guys have been here to watch me and listen to me. And I really hope that you got something out of this, that you'll be able to take these steps into your own life and make changes to your financial future. And I would definitely recommend, taking that step and purchasing the course, only $47 right now, and having those step-by-step videos and audios and PDFs and just me showing you what I do on my finance days, how that looks, how that works. I even have the one that I use, which is pretty full and robust, and I also have a mini way to do it, just because I know that there's people that aren't as nerdy as I am about numbers, and they need something easier than what I'm using. Although I feel like mine is pretty easy, but then again, I'm a bookkeeper, so so that's why I included that in there. So yeah, there's just so much information within those modules to show you how to take you from laying the groundwork to how you deal with your bills on those finance days, and how you deal with your money just on a daily basis in between those finance days. So it's just packed with some awesome information, and I just know that you will get phenomenal results, and it'll be life-changing for you too. Well, thank you so much for being here. You guys have an incredible day, and we'll see you next time.